kojim se ja krstim, bit ćete kršteni. Ali sjesti meni s desna ili s lijeva, nisam ja vlastan dati. To je oni kojima je pripravljeno. Kad su to čula ostala desetorica, počeše se gnjeviti na Jakova i Ivana. Zato je Isus dozva i reče:
Stop going to the toilet. You see anything you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so here in 98, October 98, John Paul II came here. You see that his crest is there. And when he came here he celebrated a Mass here, he visited Croatia, there were 500,000 people in this place. Wow. 500,000 people, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to start our Station of the Cross there. There you can see a bronze statue of Saint John Paul II here, yeah?
Old map, maybe later.
Not now, today. One is too far down.
Later. The bulk.
Over the tree. How will I know? I was asking you what to the tree in the street. Like peaches or apricots. Last time Penang was like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Penang used to be like that. A few houses here and there.
எல்லாதான் மரத்தெல்லாம் வெட்டி வெட்டி இதாகிடுச்சு.
This cucumber is bitter.
Well, I got the nice lentil here today. Green and purple.
7:30, right? How do you know it's not already on top?
You won't go without people.
In front of us, people swallow €1.
But I feel as if my psychology or not, I say I don't think it's
No lah, the big white one lah.
that is transgender. But no lah, myself from far, I feel as if the picture goes from so I think I'm psychology. Why your face? Very painful. Longer and got tools around the leg. Some of them wear knee pads. Our friend also cannot. That day no sand also cannot. I so fat at least I can be so fit. Now I have brought
Course our way of cross. I have brought you some.
Person one, huh?
Yes.
Okay, pass it each person one, yeah? Just take one.
There are also small leaflets inside.
Thank you.
Can we go to the church again?
Da.
I paid. Maybe choose the
Very important. Not people.
9 o'clock the office open where you can put your prayers and your petitions and your mass intentions. 9 o'clock. Okay? 9 o'clock is the office will be open. So if you want to put your petitions, if you want to put your mass intentions, you can put it in the office at 9 o'clock. Because they close at 6, we won't be back by then. So you have to do it this in the morning itself. Okay?
Oh, painting.
It depends. Shops with food, they open at 7, but the swimming shops open at 9, 8 or 9. Depends on the road.
The other way.
Main square in Marija Bristrica, as you can see the church behind us, this beautiful heart in front of us. So Marija Bristrica as a place was first mentioned in 13th century as Bristrica, not Marija. This part of the name Marija is related to the statue of the Virgin Mary, which was discovered in 17th century. But the statue itself, you will see it in the church. I don't speak in the church. I'm Catholic, as all of you are, so I don't like to speak in the church. It's a place for prayer, not for saying. So the statue dates from the 15th century. It wasn't here in Marija Bristrica originally. It was on a hill 3 kilometers from here, up that road, in a little church. But in the 15th century, the Turks came really near here, and so the priest decided to take the statue here in Marija Bristrica and hide it in the church wall so it would be safe, so the Turks won't destroy it. The statue was buried for 20 years, and then one evening when the priest prayed in the church, the light came from the wall and I'm sorry, I have a bit cold, and he got scared, he ran away out of the church, and the next morning he gathered a group of men who dig that wall and find the statue. They put it on the main altar in the church between the statues of Saint Peter and Paul. But the Turks then didn't conquer Vienna, so they were really furious when they came back and destroyed everything Catholic on their way. So the statue was buried once again. This time the statue was buried so the face of the Virgin Mary was visible. But the priest didn't say anyone why he buried the statue and where he buried the statue. So the statue was buried for next 30 years. Yes, 30 years. And the priest died and took the secret of the place of the statue in his grave. But then strange things started to happen here in Marija Bistrica. A beautiful young lady dressed in the noble clothes of that time came to the mass one Sunday and said, "Please pray for my sight, I want to see again." And she went back to the crowd all alone. So the people were scared. I mean, a blind woman is walking on herself without any help. And that same lady showed to the priest when he was taking a walk and said, "Please pray for my sight, I want to see again." And the priest wrote to the bishop in Zagreb. You can see the statue of that bishop right here. That's him, Martin Gorkovic. And he remembered that when he was a little boy, his grandma was talking about that statue, and he ordered the priest to find that statue no matter what. So on the July 13th, 1682, the statue was found once again, and the first miracle happened. Built the cathedral in Zagreb and graveyard Mirove. I'm sure you will visit them today. This whole church is built from a local stone called Mače, which was on the bottom of Pannonian Sea, and you can see these little holes. They all have fossils in them of sea life, of course, but people dug them out because they didn't find it very attractive to have shells and other things. The whole thing is built just this part of the church has the new sail, so it's different. As you can see, the first thing that welcomes you when you come here is the statue of Saint Christopher, the patron of voyagers, as you can see. The arcades around the church present the walls that surround. So the priest prayed for him, and you can see, in example here, this soldier came from the, he was in prison during the war, and he came safely home. This young man was bitten by a snake, and he survived. Yes, those are the two. The names on the wall, those are all thank you notes from people who came here. Almost completely dark, but on the August 15, 1880, the interior of the church went on fire because a candle lit the tablecloth, and the interior of the church was completely burned down. The windows smelled, the organ smelled, and the only thing that was kept from the fire was the altar with Virgin Mary. And that was the miracle that was completely documented by everyone, because the fire was so strong that people couldn't go in the church to put it down. And only the statue was intact and the altar. The altar that is in the church right now, it's not that altar. That was the wooden altar, and it was given as a gift to parish nearby. You can see this building that's connected to this bridge. This is our parish house. It's very naive art. There are many of these huge Easter eggs. One of them is in Zagreb, and we have two of them, and they change each year. So this year this one is on the display, and next year there will be another one.
Oh, they repaint it?
No, there are two of them. No, they don't repaint them. It's made of plexiglass.
Fiberglass.
Fiber.
They say
This one now. This is the Easter egg in this Croatian church.
In the church in the open of the Blessed Aloysius Cathedral. It was built in 1998 when the Pope came here. It can fit up to 1 million people. Yeah, but as you can see, all this is church. It doesn't have you can go up the hill, over there. And behind the church.
Try not to go over there, because that's graveyard already.
As you can see, this is our way of cross. It was built the first 4 stations over there, as you can see to the right, here during the Second World War. The other stations were also supposed to be from Italy, but they were destroyed during the transportation. So the other stations of the cross were built during the last 30 years. And the idea for this way of cross came from Poland, because our priests went there and they saw this huge way of cross there, and they said, oh, we have this beautiful hill in Marija Bristrica, why won't we make one here? So I heard you were on the top of the hill, and you can see how beautiful the view is here. So, because the hill is the same height as the church. And have you seen the construction over there? The tree. And if you have any questions, I will.
They want to know who is this person.
This is Blessed Aloysius Stepinac. He was the Archbishop of Zagreb during the communism, and he died because he was in prison. He helped to save Jews and Serbs and Gypsies during the communism.
But he looks
Yes,
a bit
during
like
the
the
Second World War.
John Paul II.
yes.
See,
When he was
died
young,
in
I thought it was John Paul II.
1960. He
Looks
said,
like him, right? When he was young.
really? I have never noticed that.
John Paul II.
Looks like him.
Oh.
Was he in the camp of Auschwitz?
No.
No, he died here.
He died.
Tortured here.
He was tortured. He was in a prison.
Certain Bishop Amatios, after the Croats had immigrated and been Christianized, a Christian communion was founded immediately. The first listing of parishes of Diocese of Zagreb. So Ludbreg is under the Diocese of Zagreb, yeah, in 1334. Makes mentions of parish and church of the Holy Trinity in Ludbreg. So this is the church that we're visiting, Holy Trinity Church in Ludbreg, yeah. The present parish church was built in 1410 on the base of an ancient Roman basilica. A year later, a Eucharistic miracle took place. A priest whose name has been remained unknown for us, while celebrating the Holy Mass in the chapel of the Holy Cross, doubted whether it was true that bread and wine through the consecration became flesh and blood of Jesus Christ. At the moment, a real human blood sprung from the chalice. Here's the church. Okay, the priest doubted, yeah? Even the same thing in Lanciano also. Lanciano is the same, the priest also doubted, yeah? The monk, he doubted whether the bread and wine can actually be the body and blood of Jesus. And here, this priest also doubted. And it says that the most precious blood appeared in the chalice, yeah? The priest was astonished, and he hid the relic of the most precious blood of Christ with the assistance of a bricklayer. But as he laid it on the deathbed, he could no more keep the secret. So he told the people. When the people found this chalice, they started venerating it. Yeah. So we'll get down here. So get ready for Mass. Bring your books down.
The steps, yeah.
Awesome.
Let's settle down first. He was saying the words of consecration over the bread and wine. The wine changed into blood, and this is some of the wine that changed to blood. So now this is the blood. So because he was so astonished, he was so amazed and buried it inside the wall, so that nobody knows. Yeah, and as he was lying on his bed before he could die, he revealed the secret. They have their Holy Sunday already. Yeah, it's a feast day.
Sometimes we have also doubted. For the times you have not even given a reference to the presence of the Lord in the church. Let us acknowledge our failures and ask the Lord's forgiveness. It's prompted to call out to Jesus. Blind, he could not see, but he heard that the Lord is passing by. He called all the more louder, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me, have pity on me. And Jesus stopped and called him. See, my friends, sometimes even people may discourage us. Even they say, don't. If we pray and the Lord is telling us something, we must be brave enough to call out to the Lord and to have faith in the Lord. And when we do that, when we have prayed and we have faith in the Lord, no matter how difficult the task or the mission, the Lord will definitely give us His help and bring it to fulfillment. So we must have that faith. And you see, he threw out his garment, that is his past, and then he ran to the Lord and he followed him. That is what even this pilgrim this is what we are called to do, to throw out what is the past and want to come to the Lord, to be faithful to Him, and from now onwards to follow Him faithfully. Let us pray that this experience here will also, this place of grace, this place also will help us to come to the Lord who is calling us also, just like He called this blind man, and He wants to heal us, He wants to strengthen us, He wants to assure us that He is there, courageous. Do not be courageous. That's what the word here is. Be courageous, do not be afraid. And the Lord will help us if we always follow His will. If He wants to do His will, definitely He will be there. When we take one step, He will come forward and give us help.
Start my speaking about Zagreb. So I hope, of course, you will enjoy our tour, which will take something like 3 hours. We can make it longer or we can make it shorter. It's up to you. If you are happy, then you can listen. If you are not happy, just don't listen. So Zagreb is divided in 3 main parts. If you want to go to Zagreb new area, which is the modern part, let's say, then you have to go across the river Sava. It's on the other side of the town. And the second part is downtown area, and we are now in downtown area. And this is Zagreb of 19th, 20th century. Exactly all the buildings here are constructed or built after the big earthquake, which was here at 1880. And of course there is an old part of Zagreb which we call upper town area, and of course we are going to visit that part after, but before that we are going to do panoramic tour around let's say downtown area or high school, you can say. Also, of course, there are many interesting places in Zagreb, like museums, very famous Museum of Art and Craft, then Mimara Museum, then of course Museum of Naive or Primitive Art, Technical Museum, Museum of the City of Zagreb, and so on and so on. You know, left is the main railway station, and from 19th century, of course, and you will see also on your right hand side the gentleman on the horse. That's how Croatia became kingdom at 925. That means that King Tomislav was crowned in 925 by a Roman Pope. So already at 10th century, and in his time Croatia was much bigger than today. So behind that statue you will see a yellow building. Also on your right hand side, that's an artist pavilion. Very famous artist pavilion where we have a big exhibition of the famous local artists or the famous world artists. For example, today you have exhibition of Auguste Rodin, famous French. And it's very old tram from Czech Republic. It's almost 60 years old. The same kind of tram you see in museum and on the street. And they are still, you know, they are very, very good. And of course you will see they're all blue, painted in blue. It's a color of Zagreb. You will find out that there are some new tram. Looks very nice, but they're not very comfortable. We much prefer this old tram. So, to sit, to have siesta. Now when they have break, during the job, when they have break, they go to the botanical garden, they eat something, or they just sit and sleep and whatever. So main entrance to the botanical garden. Now on your right hand side, you will see another famous building, which used to be our National University Library, and now it is a Croatian National Archives. So when I was a student, I used to study in this building. Well, it's beautiful. The style is Secession or Art Deco from 1901. So you can see Sibona, sure, tower. And now on your left hand side, another big building. It is a Westin Hotel, which is the biggest one, but not the most popular one. We have Sheraton, we have some other famous hotel, but as I told you, Granada is the most famous one in Zagreb. Now we are going to pass by the Marshal Tito Square. I'm sure Marshal Tito, you know, he was a president of ex-Yugoslavia for more than 40 years. He was a communist, and but he was from this area, from the little village down near Zagreb, Kumrovec, and we still keep this square after his name, so Marshal Tito Square. But first you have to look on your left and you will see the big grey building, which is Mimara Museum. It is named after the owner of the collection. His name was Ante Topic Mimara, and he left almost 4,000 pieces of art to the Croatian people. And so in his collection you can see one Leonardo, Michelangelo, Velasquez, Renoir, and some other famous name in history of art. So from the prehistorical period till 20th century. It's a big collection, very, very interesting collection. In front of you on the very end, another famous building. It's a headquarter of Zagreb University, so the oldest university in this part of Europe. And of course, if you look on your left, another famous building. It is a museum of art and craft, where you can see the big collection of Croatian furniture, collection of music automat, textile, glass, ivory, and so on and so on. So, of course, during the season, in this theater, we can enjoy it in ballet, opera, drama. The season will end at the end of June and start next year, this year in September. So during the summertime, we don't have much activities here, but in winter time, we can enjoy it in many activities. So you see, for example, tomorrow is Tosca, Puccini, and then some other play that Sunday. Now, if you look on your left hand side, you will see the lady holding a book on your left in front of the building. And then look on your right hand side in front of the main entrance of the National Theatre, another sculpture, lady, which we call Well of Life. It is both sculpture, left, right. It's not good for you, but still, it's a good exercise, let's say. Another building on your left, after the National Theatre, is Academy of Drama, Theatre and Film. So, of Croatian literature. Of course, we had a literature even before Marko Marulić, but it was a literature in Latin language, and some of the anonymous artists wrote in the Croatian language, but our literature started already at 9th century. We use 3 different alphabets. We use Cyrillic, Latin alphabet, and Glagolitic alphabet. So, yeah, Glagolitic, when we visit the cathedral, you will see what kind of alphabet is that. On your right, you can see the poster, Rodin. And now we are on our way to the main square, but we are not going to stop at the main square. We are going to finish our tour at the main square. Here we have also some famous building. Croatia Hotel, one of the first private hotel in Croatia. On the left-hand side, next to that hotel, there is a modern art gallery. It's one of the biggest collection of Croatian art from 18th, 19th to 20th century. And of course, the building on your right-hand side is Academy of Science, Art and Science, where our scientists are, and also some famous collection of art, famous document of literature. Many things happen here. The people are selling something, books, art, you know, these souvenirs. And you can see them from each part of Zagreb, except when you are at the main square, believe or not. Then you can't see the towers. And usually people are, and then after that we are going to walk to upper town area. Okay, so okay, yeah, 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there's a moon.
Sometimes maybe it's a snake. Yeah, it's a serpent. Right.
I have my job, I have my business, I have my family.
Because we're fighting for one
But I think it's
comment.
better to go to the shopping center than to go to the shopping center, because some of the young people, they spend all weekend buying, eating at shopping center, listening to the music. I mean, what a life. So I say to them, okay, go to the church, go a little bit to the shopping center, go to the mountain, go up climbing.
Oh, go to the museum or
Yeah, go
something.
to the museum. The museum are free at Sunday, you see. Oh, they are all day in shopping center.
It's just a different choice in life.
Yeah.
Okay, come.
May I leave just one message? I say, okay, please do the last message and let's start doing the class. And they say, another one, please. So I have a basket and I come to the class and say, give me all your mobile phone. And they give it to me and they put it here. No. And then they start ringing and then it's funny, you know. They always do something. And they are young and I like them. I mean, but and then you have examinations and you see, you know nothing, my God, you didn't learn anything. Oh, it's, and even if you
don't need to learn
if you
anything.
if you give them the duty to investigate something, to research something, they says, oh, somebody told me, you said that, and somebody on Facebook told me different. He said that Facebook is not science, my God.
Okay, let's do a roll call. Let me do a roll.
We are talking about this place here, but the life was here even before, because here they find some grave from prehistorical period and also from Roman period. That was the 2nd century. So the whole area used to be surrounded. This town, which we call capital, used to be surrounded with the strong high city walls. So the gate was somewhere there. And you can see this is what is left from the city walls. And of course the most famous building here is the cathedral. And usually we say the first cathedral, the first church was here at 11th century, but it was destroyed during the invasion of Tatars, 1242. And they built a new one. They always use some part of old one, you know. And so the second one destroyed in fire, the third one destroyed in earthquake at 1880. And at that time used to be only one tower with a big clock. Now, over there you can see the clock and it says 7 hours and 3 minutes, right? That's the time when earthquake was. And this is the clock from the tower when they fall down. It was at 9 of November, right? Sometime in the book you will find out that this is Aloysius Stepina's Cathedral. And that name, I have to tell you that when they mention this name, they are talking about the most famous cardinal. He was a victim of communism, right? He was, after the communists came here, he was a cardinal during the Second World War. He was in the So of course, this is a typical main entrance of the 20th century cathedral. You can see the Holy Father. Jesus and the Holy Spirit, right? It's always about the door. And here you have six saints. Very strange story. Here you have Saint Catherine, Saint Barbara, Saint George killing a dragon, right? Killing the evil. And here you have Saint Florian. Saint Florian is a local saint. He protects the firemen. He holds a box with the water, right?
Yeah.
And this is Saint Kyrios and Saint Methodius. They are Greek priests, almost Orthodox. Why they are here? Because we believe they brought us first alphabet, Glagolitic alphabet in 9th century. Because of that, we have their statue here, and also we have an altar, one of the altars dedicated to them. Okay? Now let's otherwise we will stay here 3 hours. First, I will start with the alphabet. This is the Glagolitic alphabet I mentioned before. And we believe that this alphabet are given to us by Kirill Methodius, priest from Greece, right, from Solomon. So this text says that the Croatian people became Christian 1,300 years ago. And over there is the altar, see, Byzantine altar with the Orthodox Catholics dedicated to St. Kyrios and Methodius. When we are looking there, you can look also at the pulpit over there with angels holding the pulpit. It's done by Slovenian artist Mihail Kušin in 17th century. And you have stained glasses all around. See, stained glasses, they are German work, came from Munich here in 1850. And they all survived the earthquake. So they are very, very old. And you can go this way, come closer. No, it's Croatian. Croatian language. As they came from Greece, then it is similar to the Greek manuscript, right? You are right. Yeah, manuscript, right. This furniture, and mostly furniture are from Florence, from Italy, from 16th century. Very, very good preserved. And it used to be for the noble families, noble old ladies used to sit here. Now everyone can sit here, of course. And it's very comfortable, but you don't see the main altar, right? Okay, this altar is also dedicated to the Holy Mother, right? And it is done by boys and girls, almost something like 18 years old, in the School of Art and Craft in Zagreb at 19th century. This altar and the young one on the other side. And here you can see the two statues of the young boys. They live in the 17th century. They are the last members of the noble families Zrinski and Frankopan. In that period, 17th century, it used to be the part of Austrian-Hungarian monarchy, So both of them, they were noble families, they went to Vienna to negotiate with the Austrian king. They wanted that Croatia come out from that association, monarchy. They want to be separate, like today, as a, independent country. And the king invited them, he spoke with them, they came back home, but without head, if you understand. They're buried here. Now, up there, you can see the fresco from 13th century, so from the first cathedral, right? From the first cathedral, which is here, as I told you, 11th century. Now we are going to pass around the coffer of the famous Cardinal Stepinac. And I told you, around, on the back part, above his head, you see the little hole, people are leaving a message there. I will show you maybe. Altar made in school of art and craft by the student, 18, 19 years old. He's a king and Saint Ladislav. And we believe that he was a Hungarian king, and we believe that he established first church, first diocese here in the same place at 11th century. Okay? So, you have here another sculpture by Ivan Meštrović. I already mentioned him. The one who saw the Well of Life in front of the National Theatre House, in History of Croatia and Lady on the Sun. It is Aloysius Stepinac, the present cardinal, meeting Jesus. And you can see the cross made of hand. Look, this hand goes up, and this one's going this. So this is direction making a cross, right? And usually, of course, people like to touch these hands and they believe it's praying, like they're praying with the Aloysius. If you touch these hands, then believe that this cardinal will pray to you, for you, to Jesus, right? Yeah, you can touch it. Anonymous artist, very strange faces of apostles. And I'm here with the school children, so they will have to describe this. And sometimes the little boy says, "Oh, they look like they had too much. Maybe, professor, maybe they had too much wine." Look at the faces of the apostles. Yeah. It used to be, of course, you know that at 15th century, the Ottomans from Turks, they start taking these places here. So we were very close to them. So those two gentlemen, Mr. Palishna and Mr. Berislavic, they protect the West world from the Turks, from Ottomans. You know Ottomans, you also see Ottomans. Here in Croatia, we were like a border between East and West world. So sometimes these are the faces of the local people here in Zagreb. And it is done in beginning of 20th century. I forget to tell you that over there, this last stop, it's what do you call Calvary, right? Calvaria. It is originally in Marija Bristrica. You saw Marija Bristrica, yes? And this is the copy. It's the copy of the station of the cross, the last station of the Marija Bristrica. The copy is here in the cathedral, right? We have this altar dedicated to St. Kyrillus and St. Methodius. And if you look at the cap, they're not Roman Catholic, they are Orthodox. There's also the cross. Yeah. The whole arrangement is here, it's Byzantine, right? The Byzantine word. Okay. Don't forget the organs. It has 6,068. They start on 1st of July, so here you have these tablets remind us that the Roman Pope was here in 1991 during the war in Croatia. But because of, the Pope of Wojtyla, even Wojtyla, the Orban, right, relates with.
Recently, they did some changes. It looked very Russian, like Orthodox Church, but it's not. It is Roman Catholic Church and original from the 13th century, of course, with many, many changes. And of course, here is the marketplace. Here down they sell flowers, fruits, vegetables. Over there is fish market. There is a lot of buying them, of course. Only for your garden.
Give me a cup.
So, little plants.
Sorry,
And this place is reserved for the flowers. Down there it's from different things. And of course, this gentleman tells you the history of Croatia. And you see, the history is not very happy. Very happy history.
Yeah, no, I'm running.
Always had the control.
One more.
Could be Hungarians, could be Austrians, could be Turks, could be Tatars, Mongols, Venetians. So not very, very happy history. But Croatian people keep talking. If you say true about how we were under the control, then we are guilty, you see. So he's prepared to hand because he tells you he play about what is true about Croatian people. So, okay, now we are going to read.
Как ти женско бариш? Снимай. Neki drugo plan, znači ona se zove hoće pokazati svoju Ameriku.
I choose the easiest way. You know what a lot of people did, let's say 100 something years ago? They ordered this sculpture and they said, we are fed up of enemy. Please, we don't want to see him killing a dragon. We want that the job is finished. And of course the artist made that the dragon is finished dead and St. George is praying, thanks God, no more enemy. Look at the horse. His head is down. Thanks God, no more enemies. So this is paintings, right? Painting. Don't worry. We are safe. Now they're coming down. So, we are now at St. Mark Square, and of course we call it St. Mark because this is the church of St. Mark from 13th century, with many changes during the centuries. So now you have a Gothic church, it used to be Romanic church, right? These are the Gothic. See, this is this kind of square is, you know,
Is it a magnet?
20 kuras or 3 euros.
What is that? Mirror. Magnet.
Dạ. Không dạ chị. Mai à? Kamu pergi. Sudah cukup.
The window up there, city cannon. It is tradition like last 150 years we have that tradition. Exactly at noon the city cannon tells you it is a noon.
Okay, let's do a roll call before we go down.
Sorry ya.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow. Company, as you see, his name is Anton Gustav Matos, and he was sitting here in his time, and he wrote a poetry.
Hantu.
Antum, right?
Hantu means ghost. Hantu means ghost.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
So he's a ghost.
Wow.
You're taking the ghost home.
Maybe you are not in the picture.
He might appear in
Yeah, so you see a lot. Love block. Who want to put?
Over there is the main signal.
Very nice one. His body is. Yeah. Can you just put a bit? Thank you.
Three kingdoms separated and then came together at 1848. Central Croatia, Slavonia and Dalmatia, of course. And also he abolished feudalism in our country. And he's telling to the Hungarians, not anymore to the Hungarians, because this statue was not here during the communist period. But before, yes. And then the old professor kept all the pieces of the sculpture in the museum. In 1921 they put the monument back, and they made the mistake decision. So he said, Dalmatian people go back to Dalmatia, because I came from Dalmatia here. Otherwise, he's supposed to say, go to the Hungarians, Austrian, go away from Croatia, you see? Oh, okay. Capital, remember we were here. You see St. Mark, Gradec, downtown area, then the river, the Tkalčičeva Street, you remember? Bloody Bridge Street here. So exactly Tkalčičeva is here, but almost. So now of course it's all one town. Okay.
Talking about?
This Magre la talking about.
Oh, I thought the town Magre.